Hello, Scream Demons, and welcome to the Screams from the Basement podcast.
This is the scariest horror podcast on this side of the Black Lagoon. Screams from the Basement discusses the best, and I do mean that this episode, double features the genre has to offer.
We also interview the industry's finest that make our screams become nightmares. I am one of your creepy co-hosts. I am Casey.
I'm Sam the Damned, and let's get screaming.
Let's get screaming on this double feature episode of Screams from the Basement as we are talking two Stephen King stone cold classics. What? Stone cold classics. Sam, what two movies are we talking about?
We are talking to not just Stephen King classics, but Stephen King, oh my god, it's snowing and we're trapped classics. We are talking 1980s Stanley Kubrick's The Shining and 1990s Rob Reiner's Misery. Ms. Misery.
Ms. Misery, yeah.
Yeah, Kathy Bates plays Ms. Misery in it.
I bet that was one of the Misery books, though. Ms. Misery.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%.
That's actually a great title for that series, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. We're talking these two movies separated by 10 years, a whole lot of Stephen King adaptations in between the two, but I mean, two of the biggest of all time that we're talking here with two of the great directors of all time, Stanley Kubrick and the late great Rob Reiner. I guess both are late great, but recently late great Rob Reiner. That was kind of where this episode came up, was both of us, because of the untimely passing of Rob Reiner. We're like, man, it's been a minute since I've watched Misery. We should do an episode on Misery. Yeah. And we're like, what do we pair it with? You pair it with The Shining.
Yeah, I mean, what better movie? Like you said, they're a decade apart, but they're both considered top tier Stephen King adaptations. They're both kind of about a slow descent into madness. They're both isolated, very contained thrillers.
There's actually some connections how these movies have intertwined between book adaptations and movie adaptations, especially with certain weapons that are used, and we'll talk about that later. There are certain weapons in the books that aren't in the movies, that are in vice versa, that are in the other movie and book.
Yeah, it's crazy. Also, one little quick thing about this, Rob Reiner never won an Oscar or was even nominated for directing, which is insane. But Misery is one of he had Oscar nominations for almost all of his movies in some category. It was just never his nomination. But Misery is one of the only Rob Reiner movies that won an Oscar, and that was because of Bates's performance as Annie Wilkes.
Kathy Bates was the only nomination for that movie.
Yeah, which is insane.
Insane.
It's one of those horror just never. I mean, this year it did for the Oscars, but horror just typically gets the shaft. And
kind of crazy that Misery couldn't even sneak in there, because it is horror, but it's
but it's more of
that term. It's that term that people love to throw around now.
Yeah.
That I fucking hate. We won't bring it up. We're not bringing it up, Sam.
It's Delift by Dick Moss.
Yeah, Delift horror.
Delift horror.
Yeah, so let's talk about this first. Let's talk about a little bit about Stephen King, because this is our first. Is this our first King?
Didn't we do Cat's Eye at some point on this podcast? Or we at least talked about it.
I'm going to ask you the question. I'll ask the question. I'll look it up, because we probably should have done this beforehand. But Sam, what's some of your history with Stephen King, specifically these two movies, The Shining and Misery?
Yeah, I mean, The Shining was one of the first horror movies I ever watched. I loved it. As far as King goes, Christine was my first book that I read, because I liked the cover, and I thought it sounded interesting, and I wanted to read an adult horror book from the adult section of the public library, so I went and I picked that one up, and it terrified me, and I couldn't stop reading King after that. He was my gateway into adult fiction, and And The Shining was one of those books that I had read, and as a kid, I didn't appreciate it as much. Like, I've been meaning to reread the book as an adult because I think, especially given my history with alcohol, I will like King's book a lot more with that lived-in experience. Um, but yeah, The Shining was one of those that like I got it on VHS shortly after I read the book, and I used to bring it over to friends' houses and kill parties with a 2.5 hour slow burn psychological horror movie. Um, and people, yeah, I got a wide reaction from people of that movie, and we'll talk about specific scenes that I loved showing people. Um,
See, that's why we would have been friends in high school, because I would have been like, we're watching The Shining again. Yes.
So like yeah, that's the thing. Like I had friends who were into horror, but a lot of them were into like the horror that was coming out of the day, right? Like
Yeah.
they weren't as interested in watching like an Alfred Hitchcock movie or a Stanley Kubrick movie or anything. We watched some of the 80s slashers, but that was about as late as they went. Um and then Misery was one of those that like I still don't think I've actually read Misery the book, but I have a distinct memory. I've only ever watched Misery once before I watched it for this podcast. It was back when I was probably like 12 or 13, right around the time that I got into King. And my grandpa had it on VHS. And one day, while I was over there for a weekend, I took the VHS from his shelf and I brought it upstairs and I popped it on the little TV in their bedroom. And I sat on the edge of their bed, leaned in like 2 inches from the TV the whole way through because it had me like it had its fucking claws in me. And I remember like finishing that movie and I was trembling. Like it fucked me up. Like I couldn't. I slept with a lamp on for like a week after this movie because I was terrified of Kathy Bates just all of a sudden appearing at the foot of my bed. Like, and I loved it. And so for so long I never watched it again because I'm like I had that experience. I don't know if it's going to hold up ever to that experience. And like, look, I didn't have to sleep with the lights on when I revisited it, but holy shit, Misery holds up. Casey, that was my long-winded thing. What about you? What's your history with these?
Yeah. So, okay. So I looked it up. We've covered a lot of Stephen King already. We did the Children of the Corn trilogy. We've done
That's
the Creep
right.
Show movies. We've done the
Yep,
Dead Zone. Like, we've done a number of Stephen King stuff.
we have. Yeah,
These are two of the biggest that we have
yeah.
yet to cover, that
I
we're
forgot
covering
we
today.
did Children of the Corn. That was such a fun episode.
It was. Um, but my history, I watched both of these about the same time. These were both like high school watches when I was going through like, all right, here's the list of classic horror movies you need to watch. And pretty sure both were on Netflix at that time. So watched both of them in high school. Immediately fell in love with, especially The Shining. Like The Shining for me is honestly for a while, even sometimes now, it's our go to sleep movie. Like we'll put on The Shining,
Yeah.
you hear that opening song, and that's like my like listening to rain outside your windows some nights. You know
Yep.
what I mean? The
Mm-hmm.
Shining music. So yeah, I've seen The Shining now a million times over and over. It is one of my favorites, and it's something that I get something new out of every time I watch it. I think it is
Yeah.
arguably one of the greatest movies of all time. Period. Misery, I've only ever seen in full one time. I know my parents had it on as a kid, and I had seen glimpses of it because I remember like this was definitely one of those like 90s King movies that every parent still watched or
Oh
had it
yeah.
on like when it showed up on TV or whatever. Christine was another one I always remember being on TV a lot as a kid. Misery was another big one. So yeah, I've only ever seen it the once, loved it. But yeah, it was nice to revisit it for the first time in probably 12 years, 15 years, however old I am right now. Yeah, so it's been a while since I've watched Misery at least. So it was nice to go back and watch two Stone Cold Stephen King classics.
Yeah. Absolutely. I I like very similar, I guess, then because yeah, The Shining was one of those movies that like I don't know how many times I've watched it. I've seen it in the theaters twice. if I got the opportunity to, I
We
would
should
see it again.
we should also mention, before you and I ever met each other,
That's right.
we're at a screening of The Shining for
It was right before Doctor Sleep came out, right? In
yeah,
2019.
yep.
It was
In
like in the month
2019.
leading up to that release. They put out the new 4K scan
Yes,
of The
that's what it
Shining
was.
in
It
the
was a
theaters.
one night only screening of The Shining, and
Yeah.
we didn't know each other yet, but there
No.
we were both in the theater together.
Yeah, which is insane.
Crazy.
I love this movie. Like you, I feel like I get something new out of it every time. Like there are just layers and elements to this that never get old. Like
Yeah.
I can watch this anytime and it's just completely it completely engrosses me.
I watched, like I was telling you before that we started recording, I watched this in December. I rewatched it last night as we're recording this. I watched Room 237 in between. Like,
Yeah.
anytime I can get anything The Shining related, I'm all in. But Sam, should we jump into The Shining then?
Yeah, let's do it.
So The Shining, this was released 1980 from director Stanley Kubrick. You might recognize that fella. He made a few movies in his lifetime. This is also written by Stanley Kubrick, Diane Johnson, based on the novel by Stephen King. Stephen King, notorious hater of The Shining, 1980. Cast includes Jack Nicholson as Jack Torrance, the alcoholic former teacher and now new caretaker of the Overlook Hotel. Shelley Duvall as his wife, Wendy, the meek stay-at-home mom. Danny Lloyd as Danny. I don't know why everyone just is named after their characters in this movie. He's the timid kid with the supernatural quote-unquote shine. And one of my favorite names in the history of names, Scatman Crothers as Dick Halloran, who is the cook at the Overlook and the shine mentor to young Danny. But Sam, if people don't know, I don't know how you don't, and you're listening to a horror podcast 12 minutes in, what is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining all about?
Stanley Kubrick's The Shining is about a recovering alcoholic who takes his wife and son to a remote hotel on a job for him, and they last about a month in isolation, or about a month and a week. We'll give him the other week, too. They last a month and a week before he goes full-on psychotic and tries to murder them with an axe. That's Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
The Shining.
Oh, and there's the kid's creepy and he sees ghosts.
Yeah, there's ghost twins. The dad sees ghosts. There's a dog
dog
giving there's a
fellatio.
guy in a dog costume giving a blowjob. Like, there's some weird shit in this.
Yeah.
The Shining.
The Shining.
Here's the thing. This is such a hard movie to talk about because it's The Shining. For me, like, this is in many ways the horror movie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's how do you, like, we can't go beat by beat. Like, okay, there's the opening credits where you have the helicopter flying and you see the car driving, and then it goes to his interview, and then it cuts back to the Torrance house. It's like, no, we can't go beat by beat because, like,
people know that it's boring.
People know that.
Like, we can discuss this movie and like things it makes us feel.
100% discuss this. I want to first start off with
too is very fascinating. I feel.
I want to start with that, with Stanley Kubrick, because there are plenty of stories about Kubrick, especially with this movie, of how he made actors do take upon take upon take 100 times over.
Yeah, including a child actor.
From what I understand, though, he was like
very good to
Danny. Kept him away from the actual horror stuff. Made sure like he was safe from that. Made sure he was okay working with Jack Nicholson, especially Shelley Duvall. We'll talk about her in a second. But yeah, he's kind of that dictator director that you think of. Like, he is the model for that. And that's where you bring up the question of, is it worth it? Like, did we need 150 takes of Jack Nicholson and Stanley Kubrick tormenting Shelley Duvall to get the performance that she has in this movie? We don't know because we don't have another version of The Shining. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We do have another version. We don't have another version with this cast and crew. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
I think we have to say no. Like, no, you don't need to do all that stuff. They're
no. I
great
mean,
actors. Jack Nicholson,
yeah.
one of the greatest leading men of all time. Kubrick is one of the greatest directors of all. Like, you don't need to put your cast and crew through hell to have a great movie.
Exactly. There's like this myth about the dictator director who's like, oh, he's harsh and he does all this stuff and he like, yeah, he maybe verbally abuses his cast and crew a little bit, but look at the results. And I'm like, okay, but look at like, I guarantee you don't see Jordan Peele tormenting his actors on set, and look at everything he's done. Like there's this myth around that, and that does
Yeah,
make this a tricky viewing.
I don't think Steven Spielberg is going around berating
No,
his
no.
actors on set and making them do 150 takes of the same thing.
Yeah, like Laura Dern was not traumatized on the set of Jurassic Park, right? Like it, and that's kind of where I'm at with that, where like, yes, I love this movie. I'm never not going to love this movie, but I also, like, when I talk to people about it, it gets brought up. Like, yeah,
You
the
have
way
to.
this movie was made is kind of shitty. Like, you don't need to be a dick on set in order to elicit these kinds of performances. You have Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall. They're going to give you performances that are worthy of this material. Like, we can talk all we want about Popeye and like the general quality of that movie, but like Shelley
She's
Duvall
fantastic in it.
transforms into olive oil. She is incredible. And she's incredible in this movie. And like I think that we do have to say like she does give a great performance in this. Like truly great. And anyone who says otherwise is full of shit. She's great.
I think there's not a bad performance in the movie
No.
at all. I mean, obviously Jack Nicholson for me delivers one of the best performances, period.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also Jack Nicholson, like, who's literally
Yeah.
great in everything.
Yeah. Also, I mean, it's
Especially
Jack
at this
Nicholson getting
time.
to be a creep, and he's really good at that.
Yeah, imagine that.
You know?
Imagine that. No, here's the thing, though. I also think, talking behind the scenes of the movie, it's also just crazy how long it took to make this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it took over a year. They shot for over a year. And hearing
Yeah.
how many takes, I mean, Kubrick did. I mean, they talked about, I saw behind the scenes where Scatman Crothers and Danny Lloyd were shooting the scene with them, like, talking in the kitchen while having ice cream. Like, over 100 times. I'm like, that's your day.
Yeah. That's insane.
You took a day to shoot that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and it's not a long scene. It's not a complicated scene.
It's an important one, but
It's an important one, but it like 100 takes. There's no way that in the first 99 you didn't find something.
yeah.
Like that's crazy.
What's cool about this though is this was shot in the L Street Studios in London on just a massive sound stage. So all the interiors are shot on the sound stage. Apparently Kubrick had them build everything, basically build the entire interior of the hotel in case he wanted to shoot that certain room. So like everything had to be good and ready to go every single day. Which is crazy. You don't hear about like giant sound stages anymore. It's all shot on a green screen or a blue screen.
Yeah, it's terrible.
The outside
it's like,
of the hotel you can go visit. It's in Colorado.
yeah, I think it's in Colorado, isn't it?
I know
Maybe.
the actual hotel is in Colorado.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like the maze is actually part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So like all the exteriors are real things. For
Yeah.
the most part, there are certain things that are not.
Honestly, one of my favorite shots in the movie is when Jack is looking at the maze like model, and you see Wendy and Danny walking in there. Like the compositing on that is precise and so good. It is. It's like, this was done decades before CGI. So like that is all like I mean, not in camera, but like that's a physical effect that they're putting in by compositing those film cells together. And I just think I think it's tremendous. I think it's one of the most unsung special effects in that entire movie is that
Yeah.
maze shot. It's crazy.
I mean, this is the guy that shot 2001, like over a decade earlier.
And the moon landing.
And the moon landing, and this movie proves it. Because he's wearing an Apollo sweatshirt. Come on.
Oh, God.
I want to talk about the opening score here for a second. This is
Yeah.
from Wendy
Carlos.
Carlos and Rachel Elkin. And apparently they were hired on to do the entire score. Kubrick being Kubrick, basically only kept like this opening part. And then mixed in different composers for the rest of it. Kind of crazy, because that opening Shining theme is...
It's so good.
It's so good. It's one of the most iconic horror themes of all time.
Two things to note. This is the second time I believe they worked with Kubrick. I can't remember the first, but he did something similar on the first movie. He did it again on The Shining. And after that, Wendy Carlos, who is also known for doing the original Tron score, which, again, if you've seen a Tron movie, the soundtrack is always the best part. It's interesting that it happened twice, and then afterwards she was just like, I'll never work with Kubrick again. And she didn't. And I think I read in 2004 she was able to... She got the rights to be able to release her like unused scores on physical media. So I would love to find a release of that, because it's not actually streaming, to my knowledge. I couldn't find it on Spotify.
It'd be
or
fun
Apple.
to get that and play it underneath the movie.
Yeah, and just see what it's like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm very curious about it. Also of note, Wendy Carlos is a trans woman. And she was living as an out trans woman since 1968. So anybody who says back in my day nobody was trans, go fuck yourself.
I did not know that. That is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Super
God,
cool, right?
Fucking fantastic composers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I want to bring up here, because right away it's something I always think about now that I know... Now that I have seen Room 237, it's kind of the one thing that really stood out to me the most in that is literally his interview at the hotel. Jack's interview at the hotel. In Ullman's office. And he comes in, it's kind of like right in the middle of the hotel. Like right in that main entrance, you walk in and it's off to the side. And you get into Ullman's office and there's this giant window so you can see outside right behind them.
Yep.
But if you look at the layout of the hotel, especially when Danny takes his three-wheel trike around, and he drives past that office, the outside of it, and goes around it, there's a hallway back there.
Yep.
That's one of my favorite things, is that the hotel doesn't make any sense on purpose.
No. Yeah, and that's like one of the great things about it, because like the apartment layout doesn't make sense. Like all of these sets,
the exterior
not...
doesn't match up to to what the interior is. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of, I don't know. I love that. It adds like a little bit of uncanniness. Like when you go into the Overlook, you are kind of transported into this different, almost like a different realm, sort of. It's very weird. Like, yeah, it's off-putting.
And it's one thing that stood out to me this time was hearing Dick. I really focused on Dick Halloran this time because of, after watching Welcome to Derry. He's my favorite character in that show.
Yeah.
I want a Dick Halloran series on HBO. I think that would rule. Maybe like a Shining prequel or something like that. But
yeah,
he's a character that I really focused on this last time watching. And he has the line of like, places shine just like people can shine. And he's like, this place shines. And it makes you think of like how to look at it as like a quote unquote haunted house. And like that maze, like it's all part of the shining.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of like, it's not normal. It's not something you're going to see at any other hotel, because this place itself shines. And then you throw in the mix of Danny having the shining. I think Jack does too.
Yeah.
I have a question on this one. This was my big like thinking about moment of watching The Shining though this time. Was I've always been like, yeah, Jack has The Shining.
Mm-hmm. And if you read the book, like it's very
More
like
explicit.
I don't think he like outright says it, but it's pretty. He drops a lot of hints that Jack himself has The Shining and passed it down to Danny.
Yeah. And that it
Yeah.
might have been masked by him drinking, which we do see in Doctor Sleep.
Yep. 100%.
But the thing I thought about this time was, does Wendy have the shine?
So here's the thing. I think that this experience kind of awakens that in her.
You think so?
Because I don't think she does at the beginning of the movie. I really don't. Like I think that in just her interactions and her not necessarily like she doesn't seem off put by the hotel at all. She seems like okay. And I think as things deepen and as she sees like the effect that it has on both her son and her husband, I think she starts being more open to it, which is why she sees things like, you know, the ballroom covered in cobwebs and the dog fellatio and the blood elevators that Danny has already seen. You know, so I think by the end she does. That's how I always read it. At least in the movie. You know, like I said, haven't read the book in quite a few years, so I would have to reread it to like really affirm my opinion. But yeah.
Yeah, it was just something I thought of this time, especially at the end where she does like start to actually see stuff in the hotel. I'm like, is this the hotel revealing itself to her, or is she finally able to see all this stuff that might have been there already? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I suppose it could be either or both, even.
Has that ballroom always looked like that? And Jack has seen it, and Danny's seen it, but she's just never seen it because she didn't have the shine, or wasn't tuned into the shine. You know what I mean?
But she does go get Jack at one point in the ballroom.
Yeah.
Before that, so like
that's
what
I mean. Like she does. Oh. She didn't see all the cobwebs and skeletons that were always there.
Oh, yeah, I get you.
Because she didn't, like, tune into the shine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. It's a interesting question.
It is,
like,
yeah.
Obviously, both Danny and Jack do, especially when we go to room 237. They both have very different experiences in that room. Makes you wonder, at the end of the movie, what if Wendy had gone to room 237?
Yeah. Yeah, like, would the thing have been different for her? Would it have manifested?
Or would it have been a guy in a dog suit blowing another guy? I don't know.
Yeah. Like, and that's kind of that's the ambiguity that I don't mind diving into. Those kinds of questions that actually pertain to the movie.
You don't want to talk about the Minotaur one.
No. Like, here's the thing. There are like these there are these people that are like 2 shakes away from wearing a tinfoil hat that think this movie is about something deeper than what it is. Like, and I'm not saying this movie isn't about anything. I think, like we've said, you can watch this and there are a lot of layers to it. But the people that watch this and go, this proves that he staged the moon landing, this proves that, like, all this stuff, I'm like, if you're one of these people, I'm sorry in advance, but get a life. I don't know. Like, I can't.
I don't think anyone who thought we faked the moon landing is listening to the show.
I hope not. I hope not. Like, we're
not the only ones that ever went
to
to the moon. United States, as a government, was not the only ones that ever went to the moon. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Let's make sure that's very, very, very clear. We did go to the moon. Kubrick did not fake it.
Yes.
Do I think maybe he's... I don't know. Like, again, we weren't around in 1980, so I don't know if people were already spreading those rumors before this of Kubrick faking the moon landing. I think so. I think around 2001 is really what people like used. So maybe that theory was already around, and he is just leaning into it with Danny wearing an Apollo sweater. He's like,
I'm sure, yeah. Like,
I think Kubrick there's something there. There's something related to the conspiracy theory of him faking the moon landing. I don't think it's him admitting, yes, I faked the moon landing, and here's the proof
Right.
because this little boy wears a spaceship sweater in this movie. I think it's him poking the bear.
Yeah. 100%. Because, I mean, like, you think about it, and Kubrick was a provocateur, right? Like, he was making movies that rubbed people the wrong way, including Stephen King with this movie. Um, like, which kind of brings me to another thing. Casey, do you find this movie cold? Do you find this movie unemotional?
Um, no, because I understand in the book Jack is more of a character you can empathize with
Yes.
because he's not a complete dickhead right away. In the
Yes.
movie version of The Shining, he hates his family right away. They're
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
car, like the first time we see the family together, they're in the car driving to the hotel. He's already pissed off and annoyed at his son
Yep.
and his wife. He does
Yep.
not like them.
Yeah.
Heck, he's reading a nudie mag in the lobby
Yeah.
before he meets his boss. Like
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but on your point though of like, is there what was your question?
Like, there are people
Emotion?
that find this cold and emotionless, and
No, because Shelley
I
Duvall
just,
is that character for it. Danny
yes.
is that character. I think both of them
Yeah.
are that character. Dick Halloran is that character. I think everyone but Jack is that character.
I'm gonna even say Jack in certain aspects.
I don't. I think he's a dick in this entire
I
movie.
mean, he is. He's like, he's a misogynist. He's an abusive person. Like, I get that. I also think that, like, the way Jack Nicholson is playing him, there are moments of, like, him being distraught by things he did, like when he wakes up from his dream that he had beat Danny. Like, he's clearly, like, not okay with that, right? And part of this is Flanagan's Doctor Sleep adding even more layers to this movie
Yes.
in retrospect, right? But this time around, I actually found his relapse, like, truly kind of heartbreaking. Like, and I know it's not real. Like, he's not drinking real alcohol, right? He's just envisioning it. But when Lloyd slides the glass across the bar and he takes it and downs it, that kind of fucked me up this time around. I was like, oh. And maybe it's because, like, I just hit 5 years in October, but, like, that put a pit in my stomach. Like, I was very much like, don't do that. That is not the path you want. Like, you're not a good person, right? And, like, alcohol is only going to exacerbate the parts of you that are bad. And, like, I don't know.
Here's a question that I have that I had not thought of before.
Mhm.
Was Jack completely sober before going to the Overlook?
I think he
He
was.
says he was.
Well, yeah, he says he was. I guess that doesn't necessarily mean he was. I mean, I
don't
go
know.
with what the book.
Because then he gets to the hotel. There's no alcohol there because they take it with them in the winter.
Mhm.
Could that be something that has exacerbated his anger issues, his disdain
Like the
for
withdrawals, you think?
his withdrawals from not only being isolated but having withdrawals from alcohol because he is, isolated here. I think he might have been like. I think that is a theory that makes sense. That he was not completely sober. It wasn't that much long before this movie that the incident with Danny happened, correct? Because I think Wendy brings it up. It was like a year earlier.
Mm-hmm.
He has obviously been fired from his job as a teacher.
Yeah.
He's looking for a new job at this point.
He might be.
I don't know.
I
think it's a question we can ask.
But it is
think
like,
about
I
next
don't know.
time we watch it, you know?
Yeah. It's one of those tough, like, I don't know. I push back on people who don't think this movie is an emotional ride, because, like, I think it is. And I do think, like I said, Dr. Sleep helped that. Like, it's a perfect companion piece to this. But, like, this does deal with alcoholism in it, like, and
deals with family dynamics. Like,
Yeah, and like part of it is, like, yeah, Jack isn't likable in this movie, but like if you've ever like alcoholics aren't always likable. Like they're not. They're just not. Sometimes they are not good people in that era of their life, and they can become better people or they can keep going down that path, right? And I think that this movie does that really well. Like I think King's pushback on that is like he had empathy for Jack because he wrote himself in as the Jack character. Like Jack is very much a Stephen King insert character in that book.
yeah, both of our main characters in both of these movies are Stephen King.
Right, exactly. And so I think when he sees a movie that portrays only the bad parts of alcoholism and only the bad parts of that.
Jack the character, Jack Torrance is the reason Stephen King hates this movie. Or did hate this movie.
100%.
It's not because of like he thought it was a bad acted movie or poorly shot or something like that, poorly written. It's because of that character, Jack Torrance.
Yep, 100%. Okay,
I had a follow up to that.
Okay.
Because I brought up family dynamics. There was another scene that really stood out to me this time. It's when Wendy is like, she's in the giant kitchen by herself prepping dinner, and she's like pouring this giant, I think it's like a fruit cocktail or something, into a bowl.
Yep.
And she's watching the news.
Yep.
And you see there's three seats set up for them to eat. Presumably that's where they eat supper every night, in the kitchen there. We never see that.
No.
We never see them share a meal together. Like the most basic thing of a family. Kind of something everyone can relate to. The meal with your parents type of thing. The meal with your children. We never see it.
In fact, you really don't see this family together a lot in this movie, and I think that's very intentional. Like I think that this is a movie that like the family is isolated from society for sure, but like they're also kind of isolating from each other. Like especially when you hit that like 1 month later time jump, like it is very much like, oh, they're just kind of all doing their own thing. They're not really interacting as a family at this point. Just 1 month in. And then the rest of the movie takes place over like a week and shit just hits the fan. Like it's a slow burn. It's a 2.5 hour movie, but like we don't waste a lot of time in this movie. Like shit goes down pretty quick.
This is one of the most tightly paced movies ever.
I agree. I've never thought that it felt as long as it actually is. In fact, when I sat down to watch it this time, I was like, yeah, it's about like an hour 40, right? And then I looked at the runtime and I'm like, oh damn, no, I always forget this is 2+ hours.
Yeah. Like you said, they're isolated from each other a month into being there. You know they were all isolated beforehand.
Oh yeah.
Too. I don't know. It makes me curious what the home life of the Torrances looked like before the Overlook.
Yeah.
Is it any different?
I'd be very curious.
You know, I don't know if it's that much different than the Overlook. Probably not like a bunch of ghosts and shit.
Right. And I mean, obviously, like they're in a smaller space, so there's less like space to isolate from each other. But like that space isn't always about like isolation isn't always about space, you know? Like
there was one thing in the room 237 doc that it made me think of it more because I looked up some like trivia and stuff on this, and of course the most iconic line of the movie is "Here's Johnny," right?
Yep.
It's a scene everyone knows. It's not my favorite scene in this movie by far, but it is like the most iconic. The original line was "What's up, Doc?" Because there's so much Looney Tunes in this already. Yeah. Plus, also, the documentary brings this up. Of there's the scene where they're like zooming into Danny, like I think it's Danny's first introduction when he's talking to Tony in the bathroom. Yeah, and it's like showing his wall and all these different cartoon characters, and Dopey's there. You know, like hangs on Dopey for a second. And then in another scene, Dopey's gone.
Right.
And another one of the seven dwarves is Doc.
Yep.
So apparently, like, I think there is some sort of connection, like, between all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know. Do you think there's any connection? I don't know if there is even a connection besides it could
besides
be
it's
one
like
of
a
those like
reference to his
conspiracy things.
nickname kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, it could be. I
And I know his nickname is Doc from like Bugs Bunny Doc.
right. Yeah, but like the seven dwarfs all yeah, I'm very curious as to like if Kubrick ever talked about any of this, and I doubt he did, but like I remember watching Room 237 when it came out because I'm like The Shining's one of my favorite movies, and I'm not gonna lie, I found most of it to be like pretty far fetched, like
Yeah, most of it
you know,
is when
like
when they're actually talking about the movie and not like weirdo conspiracy theories of like this poster
yeah,
on the background's a minotaur. And it's like what?
right, yeah, and so like I like engaging with that kind of stuff if it's about the movie,
Yeah,
but like
like one
yeah,
of the best ones is I wrote some of the big ones down here. Um, Another one I don't know if I believe. Okay, so I wrote down Apollo 11. We talked about that already. I
yep,
Whatever. That's hogwash. Another one was that this movie's a symbolism for the Holocaust. And I'm like, that's a pretty big jump. I don't know what the connection is there.
yeah.
I personally don't see it. I don't know if you do at all. Like,
No, I don't. I kind of read into that one, and I'm like, this one feels like a stretch.
but I think one that makes sense, and there are elements already in the movie. That's why it makes sense. Like, there's nothing about the German Holocaust. There's
No.
nothing about Apollo in this, about the space landing especially. But there
Yeah.
is stuff about indigenous people and
Yes.
indigenous genocide. There are lines in this movie about that.
Yep.
About hey, the Overlook is built on Indian burial grounds. Stephen King loves a good Indian burial ground story. He loves
Oh,
stories about writers and Indian burial grounds. So
he
I think
does.
there is something there to be talked about. I don't think the movie spends a whole lot of time with that.
No. I think it's mostly in like the symbolism, right? Because they do have like a lot of native art, indigenous art,
Yeah.
things like that all around the hotel. And there's that scene where Jack is taking a tennis ball and he's just like whipping it at the wall and off of the artworks and things like that. And it does kind of feel like we're on indigenous land. We're taking indigenous culture to decorate our hotel that this white man is now just like running through disrespecting by throwing his balls all over the place.
Yeah.
Like that I mean it's there. Like that stuff I'm like, yeah, that makes a little bit more sense, right?
It does. And also there's for some reason the documentary always focus like a lot of times in this documentary they focus on the like can of like I don't know what it was a can that's in the pantry that has an indigenous
Yeah.
native on the front and don't know what the connection is like that they're referring to like that actual specific branded can that was in grocery stores and stuff all the time. But I think there is something to be brought up there, especially when you look at the ballroom. Like, hey, this is a bunch of rich white people partying on this Native American burial ground,
Yeah.
like literally dancing on the graves of slaughtered people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah.
I think there is something to. I don't think the movie has enough, like, to dissect what it's saying about it, but I think there is something there. I also
Well
think that
yeah.
tennis ball has. Maybe we're going a little too much into conspiracy stuff. That tennis ball has some like there's stuff with that tennis ball too. Like
Yeah.
Jack is like that's kind of his go-to like play. Like I'm trying to the all work and no play is that
Yep.
tennis ball, right?
Yeah.
That tennis ball is the one that rolls to Danny when he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's an alternate ending of The Shining where Ullman visits Wendy and Danny in the hotel in the hospital and gives him a
Yeah.
tennis ball.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
there's something with that too. What? There is. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Like there, and that's the thing. Like people will say like, oh well, it's like about native, like the natives and the way the like white settlers treated them and how we're still doing that today. And like maybe that's all the movie is saying. You know what I mean? Like a movie doesn't have to say more than that, right? Like a movie doesn't have to I don't know, like especially one that's also about alcoholism and family dynamics and abusive relationships and all sorts of things. Like
And at its core is a haunted house movie.
right, exactly.
Or
Like
a
it's
haunted
a
hotel
haunted
movie,
hotel. Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Or
A
if you go
couple
deeper into The Shining, like The Shine itself as a supernatural thing that humans have, that's another part of like just dissect it as a shine, like what the shine is, you
Yeah,
know?
and I mean, if you read the book, it's not any clearer. The Shine is one of Stephen King's most ill-defined aspects of any of his works.
And you look at Doctor Sleep, that doesn't help define the shine
No, not at
anymore. It
all.
adds more
Not at all.
stuff, if anything.
Yeah, it's like so some people with the Shine are Shine vampires, and they suck the shine out of other Shine people.
Yeah. One question I wrote down this time, and this is just a movie question, like plot point wise. Why does Dick Halloran live in Miami? You know, he's the cook
Yeah,
at this resort in Colorado.
I mean, maybe that's his summer home. Maybe he
Maybe
makes
I
so
don't,
much
or it was winter home.
as a chef in the kitchen of a hotel. I mean, he might make that kind of money as a chef in like a fancy hotel. You don't know,
They
I
might,
guess.
especially if they're only
So
open like a couple months.
yeah, so like maybe he just has a winter home that he goes to that's nicer than chilly ass Colorado.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know. I yeah, I love Dick Halloran's apartment. It's like one of my favorites. Like that set is just
All his nudie
fantastic.
artwork on the
Yeah,
walls.
all his nudie artwork and just yeah, him just hanging out barefoot, watching TV.
I have two questions for this movie. I've had a ton of questions already, but I got two questions right now for you. One,
Okay.
um, if you were offered this position, you were offered the Jack's position as the caretaker of the Overlook, would you do it?
Depends. In a hotel that big, no. And you want to know why? There would be no fucking possible way for you to know if you were completely alone in that hotel. None whatsoever.
It's another part of the movie. Yeah.
Like, and that is terrifying to me. Like, that's almost like I kind of creep myself out on this watch, going like, how did they even check that everybody was actually gone? Like, ugh, that's so freaky. Like, even with three of them spreading out across different, like, it's a hotel, you could hide anywhere. So probably not, but maybe like a smaller one that I could maybe have a little more say. I don't know. I don't know. That's tough. Um, what about you?
I think I would.
See, like the idea of actually having like free time, like isolated free time to just work creatively, that appeals to me.
I feel like I would be like Jack though.
Where you
Not
didn't
like not
actually
like
do stuff.
not like killing my family with an axe, but like just
Right, but
throwing a
like,
tennis ball around.
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
You
hey,
know?
that's part of the creative process.
It is. We have
I
to
think if
embrace
Homeboy
that,
just
but that's
accepted
all he
that,
did. That's all he
yeah,
did.
yeah.
He didn't get any of his book done.
No. Um,
And then my second question is, what's your favorite shot of this movie?
my favorite shot of this movie. Honestly, I think it's the
The
maze.
maze one?
The maze one. Yeah, I think it's so good. Although I will say the red bathroom, so aesthetically pleasing. Like I love that set so much.
It's
So
the it's
like,
the
yeah.
one set that reminds me the most of A Clockwork Orange.
Yes. Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What
Um,
about you?
my favorite. I have two favorites in this movie. Both with Jack, and my first one is when he's like just like doing the Jack Nicholson stare out the window at Wendy and
Yeah.
Danny, and it's just
Ugh.
kind of zooms in on him. He's just
Yep. Yeah.
staring at them outside. Creepy, terrifying stuff. Then my second favorite is when they do the shot twice. It's when he's swinging the axe, and like the camera like swings back with it, and like
Yeah.
kind of follows the axe motion.
Yeah. I love
It's
that.
so good. It's such a good shot.
Yep. I agree.
Also, we got to
those
bring
are
this
awesome.
up because we'll bring up a different weapon in the next movie. I promise, folks, we'll get to Misery. We've been talking almost an hour about Shining. Jack is carrying around an axe in this movie.
Yes. But it was a croquet mallet in the book.
It was a mallet in the book.
Yeah.
What is? It's not a mallet in Misery. Close enough. It's a sledgehammer, similar shape, where it was an axe in the book of Misery. It's kind of
Yeah. Doesn't
swap
she
the
chop off his
chopped
feet?
off his foot.
Yeah.
In the book.
Yeah, in the book. That's what I thought. Like I said, I don't think I've actually ever read the book, but I did remember that being like a key difference. So it is kind of funny that they flip-flop a little
They
bit.
flip-flop weapons, yeah.
Also, the jump scare with Jack jumping out and axing Scatman Crothers, it does not matter how many times I watch this movie. I always think he's popping out the pillar prior to when he does. And when he doesn't, even though I know it's going to be the next one, my guard still goes down and then it gets me again. I don't know how, but my brain has just always been wired that way, where like I always miss time when I'm supposed to jump, and that makes me jump harder. And I don't know if there's some kind of science to the way they filmed that makes that true, but Jesus Christ, it gets me every time. Every time.
It's like the scene in Jaws where the head pops out, you know?
Yeah,
It's it's coming every single time you watch it, but it gets you.
It gets you, yeah. I remember when we saw that West Mall 2020, I about jumped out of my seat. What the fuck? Yeah. So, anyways, this movie's fucking great.
It is. I have one last thing to bring up here. It's the final shot, of course. Jack at the 4th of July party, 1921. It kind of adds another question. Has Jack been there the whole time? Or has he just become part of the hotel now? You know, that because like him and Grady have a very similar story. The character of Grady. We haven't talked much about Grady. He's the dad, the former caretaker that murdered his two daughters, the sisters, the Grady sisters,
the ghost twins. Iconic, amazing. Yeah,
not twins.
They're not twins, but they look like yeah. It's great.
It's a Frankenstein's monster thing. Like, who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy that they look so much alike, but technically they're 8 and 10.
Yeah.
So
does Jack just become part of the hotel?
Do you want to know it's unsubstantiated by anything in the book and the movie, but this is how I read it.
Yeah.
I think that when you die, time becomes irrelevant. Time is a man-made construct. And yeah, it's it's a flat line, right? You can't go back. When you're living, you can't go back. But when you're dead, we don't know. When you're dead, you're there. You're just floating in not space and time, if there is something afterwards, right? It has to be outside of space and time. So yeah, he was there in 1920 because he died. And so I don't know. Does that make sense? That's my
But then,
my
okay,
crystal,
let's say you as a living human being were there in 1921. Is Jack Torrance there?
Sometimes we get deja vu, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe he just starts appearing in your subconscious. I don't know.
And who's looking at that picture at the end? It's not really ever explained. It's just that he's in the picture.
Yeah.
Who's to say because that's the first time we've ever seen that picture in this entire movie.
Right. And
who's to say he wasn't there the whole time?
Yeah. And that's the thing, like I do kind of wonder like maybe if it's about reincarnation, maybe it's about like I said, like you're a ghost, you've been there, you're like tied to the history of the property now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know.
Because
It's
there's that scene in the bathroom where you have him and Grady talking.
and Grady doesn't remember anything.
He doesn't remember anything, but Grady also says like you've always been here.
Yeah.
So again, it makes me wonder of like, is maybe just Jack or the caretaker, the title of caretaker, because that's what Grady was at one point too. Is that just like this like omnipotent being of the hotel? Of like
Yeah,
the
maybe.
caretaker has always been here, and the caretaker always kills its family.
Maybe. I like here's the thing too, like we don't know what happened between Grady and Jack, right? Like there's a whole decade between the two of those.
Yeah,
Were the
someone was
rest of the
taking care of it.
caretakers killing their families, or is it just that Jack being having the shining and being an alcoholic with some vulnerabilities is more prone to the hotel and could be similar with Grady
Also,
and maybe
Grady is a
people
waiter.
who right, yeah.
In the when Jack sees him, he's not the
Yeah.
caretaker Grady staying
Right,
there.
he's like a butler essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, he's working at a party in the hotel, presumably probably this 4th of July party.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it makes me wonder like, did when Grady died, because they say he died at the hotel too. Did his spirit inhabit someone in 1921 too, or become part of? Is he in? They don't show him in the picture, but like, is he one of the characters in the background of that picture that we just don't see? You know,
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Let the next time we watch it, ask these same questions to see if we can get any more out of it.
Yeah.
That's why I love this goddamn movie.
Yeah, like it's a fun one to talk about. I like I said, I prefer when the conversations stick to the actual movie.
I only
Um,
brought the Minotaur up once.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's one that I've watched so many times and I'll watch many times more and I love it and it's 5 out of 5. Like it's The Shining. Like it's one of the greatest movies ever made.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't seen it yet, we didn't really actually spoil much plot-wise for you, so just go watch it.
If
Casey,
anything,
what are
it
your
gives you some
yeah.
things to think about. I think.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
What
I'm.
are what are your thoughts?
If we were giving ratings and reviews, like yeah, 5 out of 5, no notes. Like one of the great one of the great movies of all time. This is just one of the great movies of all time. Endlessly rewatchable for me. I could put this on at any time of the day or night and watch it, or just have it on in the background if I just want something in the background. But there's always something new to get out of The Shining, no matter how many times I watch it. Yeah, it's just one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't even talk about like. There's so many things we didn't talk about. We didn't talk about like
Yeah.
okay, there's one last thing I need to bring up before we move on. I swear, we will move on. There's one supernatural moment in this movie. In a movie that's about ghosts in a haunted hotel, there's one supernatural moment that cannot be explained by anything else.
The when Jack gets out of the freezer.
Yep.
Yep.
It's the one supernatural thing that happens in this movie.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I think it's crazy. Like the everything else could be explained away, but that one thing leaves it totally ambiguous, and
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
Because then it
Where
questions is like, oh, is this place actually haunted?
hmm
Because
because there
something
there
had
is
to.
an argument to be made that it's not, and it's all a psychological thing. But yeah,
But somehow he got out of there.
yep,
Did Danny open it?
with The Shining, with his
That's a
ill-defined
theory I've
powers.
heard. Is Danny unlocked it?
Interesting.
I
Yeah,
don't know if I believe that. I don't know. I don't think
I
Danny
don't think
likes
I
his dad
believe
very
that.
much.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't
Pretty
unlock
sure
it
he's
for
pretty
my
terrified
dad.
of his
That's
dad pretty much the whole movie.
yeah.
Yeah. Again, more questions to ask our viewers out there. But we've been talking about the Shining for an hour. We'll have to move on. All right, Sam, you
Yeah.
ready to move on?
Let's move on.
All right, let's
The
get to our
Shining's
first.
perfect. Watch
It's
it.
perfect. No notes. No notes. We couldn't cut the last hour out of the show. All right, let's get to our first ad read here of the show. Help! The Basement Boys are trapped in an abandoned amusement park and need your help. The best way to help the fun-loving horror fiends is by joining Patreon. By joining our Patreon, you get our bonus perks that you cannot find anywhere else, including monthly bonus podcasts, vlogs from our collections, and exclusive movie reviews. Each subscription to Patreon helps the Basement Boys escape Old Man Marley's amusement park, and you can join our Patreon by scanning the QR code on screen or visiting patreon.com/screams from the basement. You can join either our $1 or $5 tier. Any amount helps support the Basement Boys. All right, Sam, let's get to movie number 2. Probably try not to talk for an hour about this one. We'll try. So, next up, we have Misery from 1990, directed by the great Rob Reiner, written by William Goldman, and based on the novel by Stephen King. Cast includes James Caan as Paul Sheldon, the writer of a hit series of books about the character of Misery, Kathy Bates in an Academy Award-winning performance as Annie Wilkes, Paul's obsessive #1 fan, and one of my favorite King characters of all time, Buster, played by the great Richard Farnsworth, who is this goofball small-town sheriff who's just looking for just a little bit of action in his small town. But Sam, what is Misery all about?
Well, author James Caan and his latest manuscript are rescued by his #1 fan, Kathy Bates. She brings him to her house and she nurses him back to health, and that ungrateful bastard keeps trying to escape. All she wants is the perfect book. Why won't you give it to her, James?
Misery.
He didn't get out of the cockadoodie car.
Oh, man.
I love this movie. It's so good. Spoilers, also gave this movie 5 out of 5. I think we can just get to the end here. 5 out of 5. No notes.
Yeah. Watch it.
Watch it. All right. Sam, let's move on to what do you do be doing? No. Much like The Shining, I think there's a lot to dissect in this, especially with our more so character-based stuff than The Shining, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like The Shining, you're following around very few people. You're mostly confined to one place. You know, you go outside for a little bit. Like, the sheriff is a little bit of the Dick Halloran character in this one. I mean, actually, quite literally, he has the exact same arc as Dick Halloran.
Yeah, same fate as poor Dick Halloran.
Yeah, which is insane. Also, you know what? In the book, Dick Halloran survives, so like that's bullshit, Kubrick. That's my one qualm with The Shining. But moving on, we talked about that
we
fucking
didn't see
movie
him
for an hour.
die.
Brother, there was a lot of blood on that floor. I don't think he walked away from that.
Giant axe in his chest. Yeah, he's probably dead.
Yeah.
Maybe The Shine works in mysterious ways. I don't know.
So yeah, like this is one of those movies where like the characters take front and center, and honestly, like the incredible tone. Like Rob Reiner is one of those directors that could go into any genre and make a stone cold classic.
Is there a genre he's not done?
Like
he invented
really.
He invented a genre.
Yeah, like
this
is Spinal Tap was unlike anything that came before it. Like you have
all-timer fantasy in Princess Bride,
like an all-timer coming of age in
Stand by Me.
Like all the oh my god, what's it? A Few Good Men. Like one of the best courtroom dramas ever made. Like the fucking When Harry Met Sally is widely considered like one of the
great rom-coms ever.
Rom-com ever. Yeah. Like the dude just he knew the language of cinema and he could apply it to anything. And that is just so amazing because like this is one of the most tension-filled movies I've ever watched. Like I am so tensed up the entire time this movie is going, and I wasn't expecting that on a rewatch. I'm like, you know, granted, all the details are fuzzy, but I know what happens. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh God, the same way I was when I was fucking 12. But this movie still got me. Like, I was still edge of my seat the entire way through. I could not take my eyes off the screen. It was like I took no notes during the movie. I
Literally, no
had to
notes.
just like I had to jot down like random fleeting thoughts as the credits were rolling. So I have nothing really prepped for this movie at all because I was just enthralled with it watching it for the first time in 2 decades. Like it's fucking perfect. I Khan is incredible. Don't get me wrong, but like
Yeah.
this is fucking Bates's movie, and she is so good. Like she has layers to Annie. There are moments of quiet somberness from her that are actually scarier than when she's yelling. Like there's a moment where she just looks like she's at the end of her rope, and she's talking in this low tone, and she's barely opening her eyes, and she just kind of like leaves the room unceremoniously. And that to me was the scariest scene in that
You're
movie.
like, oh,
Like,
she's gonna snap.
yeah, like she's gone. She's like she's 100% like she has a gun with her that she's showing him, and she's like, I don't know, there's 2 bullets in here. And I was just like, ooh, oh no. Oh, that's not good. That's way worse. I'd rather you have a sledgehammer and are screaming at the top of your lungs like please do anything other than that, you know? And what's weird is like you feel for her too. Like you don't want her to use that gun on either Paul or herself. Like it's such a good performance. Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
clearly a damaged individual.
Yeah.
Unlike Jack, I think she has like redeeming qualities about her.
Yeah. Like
Um,
she is a caretaker to a certain degree. You know?
not a
I
very
mean,
good one.
no.
Yeah, and for I mean, this is Kathy Bates's movie. I think she's incredible. Annie Wilkes is the main character of Misery. That is the reason many people turned down the role of Paul Sheldon, because they realized, oh, this isn't about him. It's about her. That's the character you
Mhm.
want to play.
Oh,
Which I
yeah.
think props to Khan. Like, you are the protagonist,
Yeah.
but you're confined to a bed in a wheelchair this whole movie.
Oh, yeah. But like it
It's
takes
you
someone
literally have no power as a character.
but it also takes someone with the power of Khan. Like he's such a good actor that like he makes that character come alive even in the situations that he's in. His reactions to Kathy Bates and hit like their back and forth in their performances is so like you need 2 actors of this caliber for this material. It
Yeah.
would not work if they just got Joe Schmo off the street to and put it in the Paul Sheldon role. You need an actor that knows that he is technically the supporting role, even if he's the protagonist, and plays that to his strengths. And I think that's exactly what Khan does.
Arguably one of the best at doing that.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, when you think of James Caan's career, you don't think of him as like leading man James Caan.
No, like except for like
It's
in Thief. Like Thief is the one like big leading man thing. But otherwise,
he's supporting guy
yeah. Like
or secondary.
Elf. He's fantastic in Elf, which is like a
I don't
weird
like that
movie to
movie.
bring
He's
up in
the
the
best
context.
part of that movie. But again,
Yeah.
he has to he has to know he's not the main character.
Yeah, and he knows exactly how to play that against like the more cartoonish characters, aka Will Ferrell, in that movie. And I think it's great. I think he's fantastic in everything he pops up in.
Yeah. And he's incredible in this movie.
Yeah.
Man, there's so many good lines in this movie. So obviously what happens right away, he gets in a car accident. Annie ends up quote unquote saving him, brings him back to the house. That's where we find out he's been writing these series of books called Misery's Child. It's this book series, like, it's not fully defined what type of book series really it is.
They're
like
mysteries, but they
like
look like romance.
like mystery, I think, yeah, like kind of those like old lady books that you find like
like they seem like erotic mysteries.
Yeah, like maybe not like like nowadays
Not
erotic, not
raunchy, but
yeah.
like yeah.
Yeah, but like definitely she's falling in love with the police detective or something that's investigating a
Hmm.
murder that she somehow saw or something like that.
Yeah, 100%. I think we get enough of it to just know like what this is, what like just enough to know the
And we know that
basics.
Paul has been writing these books for a long. It's an ongoing series.
Hmm.
That one of them, the first one, happened to be a hit, and he had to continue to write them, and it's not something he wants to do anymore.
Yeah, so he is recently just published the last Misery book. He kills her in the end of the book, and he has a new book based on his childhood that he wants to like put out next.
Yeah,
And that that's where the problem is.
that's where the problem is because she's a very, very religious woman. She does not swear until she does,
Yep.
but like in public, she's not like
Yeah.
outright cursing at people. She'll say like duty and
Yeah. Cockadoodie.
cockadoodie, and there's one of my favorite lines is when she's reading his new manuscript of like his
The
like
street
childhood
youths.
story. There's one of my favorite lines I wrote down here was 10 pounds of that bitchly cow corn.
Yeah. The way
Like
she swears is just totally wrong, and it's kind of
totally
funny.
wrong, makes no sense. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I love that scene, and it's like your first. Well, no, because even before that, she says something along the lines of like, "I've been watching you. I know you go to that cabin to write all your books," and she's been like outside the cabin, essentially stalking him even before all of this happened. And they never like draw too much attention to it. It's just a couple of lines from her, just enough for you to go like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
something's like a little
And it
off
might
about
make sense
this."
because he goes to this small town to write, and he goes and
Yeah,
stays at the same hotel. Like, it's the same thing for every book.
yeah,
So it like,
and
and again, everyone knows everyone in this small town.
yep.
So it's not too weird that she would know he was there all the time.
Yeah. But it is weird that she said she was outside of the
Yes.
cabin. Like, that's strange, right? And it starts your wheels turning. You're like, okay, so this is someone who's been keeping tabs on him. That's how she found him in the snow, obviously.
And she admits
Um,
her love to him pretty early on in meeting him.
yep. Oh, yeah, 100%. And this whole she's so excited to read his new manuscript, but then she doesn't like it because of all the swearing. Um, But the real shit hits the fan when she goes into town to pick up a copy of the latest, and as she will find out, last Misery novel, where Misery dies at the end. And in a book that predicted to a degree the amount of toxic fandom that we would have in our good year of 2026, and even before that, obviously. Holy shit, like she just flips the lid and she wants him to write a whole new book where he resurrects Misery and continues. And I'm like, oh wow, this is like, you watch this today and you're like, yeah, this is the internet in a nutshell. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this is terrifying. It's just a
Paul's this
physical
old.
manifestation of it.
He's as she says this lion old dirty birdie.
Yeah, and I just, oof. And then he writes it, and it's still not good enough until he resurrects Misery the way she wants him to resurrect Misery.
Yeah, because he tries to resurrect her not based on like like how he killed her off.
Yeah, and she was
That's
like,
where you get
no,
the
that's
line.
not gonna
He didn't
work.
get out of the cockadoodie car because she's talking about like
Yes.
all these childhood serials that she watched that ended on cliffhangers and stuff.
Yeah. And you can see like a little teenage Kathy Bates standing up in a movie theater and yelling that. And
Yeah.
I love that.
One of my favorite parts of this, watching it this time, was we get introduced to the character of Misery, which is her
Yeah.
pet pig,
Yes.
and when
Okay.
she starts snorting like Misery, and it's like, oh, that she is off her rocker in
Yeah.
every amount.
So, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I would act that way if I had a pet pig too. But without the stalking and the homicide,
Without
and
the
all that,
stalking
like,
and homicide
yeah,
and
yeah.
making your favorite author rewrite a book. Yeah.
Yeah, without crippling some guy that I just nursed back to health. But no, like, so it had been so long since I'd watched this, and I was like, I don't remember anything happening to the pig, but if anything happens to the pig, I'm gonna hate this. And so that's the one time I looked away from my screen was to Google, does the pig die in Misery? Because I'm like, if it does, I can't
The
do
pig's
it.
kind of just a non-factor in the movie,
Yeah,
really.
which once I saw that, I'm like, okay, nothing happens to the pig. No wonder I don't really remember anything about the pig then, because it's kind of just one of those superfluous details where it's like kind of a moment of like dark comedy where she's like, she named a pig after the main character of this book
Yeah.
series he wrote. And like,
Also,
You
it's to show her isolation. That's really the only living thing she has around anymore. She mentions,
it's-
like, this used to be a farm that had, like, cows and chickens, and
yeah,
really, Misery is, like, Misery is the only animal we see on the farm.
yeah, like, and it seems to be her only source of interaction even. So it's kind of crazy. Like yeah.
Oh, you just know she read all the Misery books to the pig.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
We do need to talk about the sheriff and his wife.
He's so good. I love him.
Deputy. His wife / deputy.
When you're in this car with me, you're not my wife. You're my deputy.
You're my deputy. Yeah. Because she's like trying to like come on to him and she's putting her hand on his leg and she's just looking for some action and he's like,
Yeah.
I'm on duty.
He's also looking for some action. He doesn't get a
Yeah.
whole lot going on in his small town.
No, but I don't know, just every time they cut back to him, like, there's just something really wholesome about those two characters. And I remembered how the sheriff ended up. I mean, spoilers. Kathy Bates just blasts him with a shotgun
Blasts
the
him.
minute he shows up for help. Like, he finds Paul Sheldon and immediately just gets blown away. And it is one of the most, like, I remember screaming when I watched this movie for the first time when that shotgun blast goes off. Like, it took
It's
me out.
so quick.
Like, I was not expecting it at all, and I screamed. Now, like, watching it now and knowing, because that memory scarred me. Like, that seared its way into my brain. So watching it again, I was like, oh shit, I know where this goes, and they're making me really like this character. Fuck, no!
Yeah, because he's the one. He's the one that first, like, is investigating Paul Sheldon's disappearance.
Yeah.
He's on the right track. He is very close to figuring out, like, right away. Like, he sees a tree down on a road that's often traveled. He's like, that shouldn't be there. And he, like, is within 10 feet of finding Paul's car.
Right.
Eventually a helicopter does find Paul's car. And in that, he's the only one that notices, oh, Paul didn't crawl out of this car. The door was pried open.
Mm-hmm.
And someone pulled him out of it.
Yep.
And he knows.
So this
he's
sheriff
out,
knows.
He knows Paul is out there somehow, some way.
Yep.
And he ends up reading all the Misery novels. And that's how he finds out, hey, who's the biggest fan in this small town? It's Annie Wilkes, who
Yep.
has to make sure she has the reserved first copy of every Misery book.
Yep.
He puts it together maybe a little too fast in the end. I don't know about you. Maybe just like we maybe needed one more line or something. But also, like, he finds out Annie, like, killed babies at the hospital. Like, I guess
Yeah.
you probably figure out she's a psychopath.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where you know, I think if you live in this town, you know who she is and you kind of know something's a little off. And I don't think he puts it together too quickly. But I get that. Like, I also think this is just an incredibly paced movie that doesn't like, you're always moving on to something different. Like, him being just like trapped, essentially, there is always something changing about Paul's situation that adds a new wrinkle onto, like, how is he gonna get out of this?
Yeah, because there's so many ways he tries to get out of this.
Yeah, like, I mean, and every time he leaves that room when she's not in the house, It is
tense.
the most nerve-shredding thing you could watch because it's just, she's coming back. He has very limited mobility. The scene where he has to get out of his chair and army crawl across the floor to get something. I can't even remember what it is now. I literally,
it's when he's grabbing the knife, right?
it's the knife. It's the knife. And I could not, like, my shoulders hurt after I watched this movie. Like I was like this so much of the runtime, and it just I don't know. Like those sequences in particular, though,
It's
they stand out to me.
very Hitchcockian.
Mhm.
Like he is 100%
And Khan
pulling from
sells
Hitchcock.
the shit out of it, out of the like desperation, out of the fear, like, oh. And when she comes back and he's like trying to act casual in his room, but he's sweated through his shirt and he's still, I'm like,
He's like,
oh
I need
my
my
God.
pills.
Oh my God.
And the
like,
pills, like he's been hiding all of his pain pills.
yes.
Eventually, like crushes them up and turns them into powder to try to drug her. Here's a question, because I think that's again such a great tense scene is when he finishes writing the new Misery novel, and to celebrate, he's like, we need to have a dinner together. So they have dinner and they have wine, and he ends up pouring all this like crushed up pain pills into her wine glass.
Yep.
And she comes back and he gives a toast and she ends up spilling her wine.
Yep.
Did she know what he was doing?
So,
or is it
this
just
something I went
happenstance
back
of like,
and forth
gosh,
on.
this guy just can't catch a break?
Because like the wine scene is so tense in general, like him having to get the, like slip it, all of that stuff is very tense, and he does, the way the movie's framed, you think he's gotten away with it. But I'm like, maybe he started too early before she'd rounded the corner. Maybe she rounded the corner as he was setting her glass down. I do think she knows that something's up. I went back and forth on it. I refuse to believe that was just luck. You know what I mean? Or bad luck, I should say.
Yeah.
I think she knew. What about you?
Yeah, I think she knew.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just,
I think she knew, like, if he's gonna be weird and ask me to step away from the table, leaving my drink exposed,
well,
I'm not drinking that.
she's a poisoner, she's a nurse, she knows all the tricks. Like, and that's kind
he
of
never
the scary
outsmarts
thing.
her in this movie, really. Like, he doesn't.
No. He has to use brute force essentially to beat her. Like, and even then, Jesus Christ, like she comes back like Chucky. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. She takes a typewriter to the dome and comes back.
And still gets up. Yeah, like what the fuck? Oh my God. So we should talk about the hobbling scene.
Yeah.
Because that scene to me is one of the absolute best best uses of practical effects mixed with editing. Because like you don't see as much as your brain fills in that scene. You actually only see her hit one of the ankles. In my mind,
That's all it takes, though.
From that screening, oh yeah, but from that screening, like I felt like I remembered close-ups of both of his feet inward. And I realized watching it this time, that was just a total mental projection on my part. Like I put that image in my own head after watching what they showed us. And I can't believe it. Like it's like the meat hook going into the back in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original one. Like where you think you see so much more than you do.
Yeah.
And I wish horror did more of that these days. I think the power of suggestion and stuff like this can be just, and it's not like this doesn't have its gory moments. The sheriff getting shotgunned is disgusting. Kathy Bates by the end of this third act is fucked up. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
Paul's legs are disgusting.
Yeah, like there's gore in this. But the most impactful scene is the one where they really don't show you much of anything, and the one shot you get is actually a wide shot, and it's only on screen for about a split second. And then it cuts away. It's all
It's
reaction.
also shot very. I just thought of this. It's shot very similar to when Jack Torrance is swinging the axe, where it like follows the weapon back and forth. It does that here, where she's like, "I'm sorry, Paul," and she like swings back and comes back and just.
Yep. Oof. It's such a good scene. It's like it's one of the best horror sequences of all time, in my opinion.
One thing at the end of the movie here, when we kind of get our final showdown, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna finish Misery, and the only way I can do that, this is after the sheriff's dead, is I need 3 things," and she knows what they are. He needs to have his cigarette, a match to light it, and as she calls it, the Dom Paragon, which shows she has only ever read this stuff. Yep. In books or interviews he's done. She doesn't know how to pronounce it.
Interviews.
Yep. Yeah, she doesn't know how to pronounce the wine he drinks to celebrate.
Yep.
So it's just like, that's how disconnected she is from reality, really.
Right, yeah.
Like, she knows all this stuff about him, but she doesn't know how to actually pronounce a very famous bottle of wine.
Right.
Dom Paragon.
Dom Paragon. Yeah, it's so funny to hear her say that. Like, and that's the thing, like, this movie has moments of levity while never breaking tension. Like, I would not consider this a horror comedy by any means. The humor is very, like, natural. It's in the stuff that the characters do because they're in the situations they are. Yeah. The sheriff, the mispronouncing of words, that kind of thing. Like, it's all really funny. Like,
the snorting like a pig.
The snorting like a pig. Like, yeah, there's stuff that makes you laugh in this movie, but it's all coming from a real place. And I love when movies are able to do that and not just have it be, like, quippy Marvel stuff, you know? The final fight is so great. It's so bloody. And then, honestly, the stinger at the end, what do you think of the stinger at the end? Where he's at the restaurant with his agent after all of this has happened. And he sees her come out of the kitchen with the weight tray or whatever.
Yeah, he sees her come out, and then it turns out it's a different waitress, and she says to him, "I'm your #1 fan."
Yeah. What do you think of this?
I mean, I think it's anytime he's ever going to meet a fan from now on, no matter if they're a crazy person or just a fan of his books, he's going to see her.
Yeah.
Because he's now seen the worst of it.
I love the way that it just kind of sets up, like, that he will always have PTSD involving with this. Like, any kind of fan interaction that he has moving forward is going to be changed because of this. Like,
it's the dark side of fandom, and I think it is something, like you mentioned earlier, nowadays people can learn from. Of like, this is how you ruin stuff for normal, quote unquote, normal fans.
Yeah.
Star Wars fans looking at you. Don't act don't act like this to Mark Hamill. Like, come on. And I know they have. We've seen that, especially in the Star Wars series, how they've reacted to
like Ahmed Best and
Jake Lloyd. Hayden Christensen
was not always loved by fans like he is now.
Yeah. And I think they can probably tell you a lot of similar stories that they have met and their own Annie Wilkes.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least the version of Annie Wilkes that is pissed off at what they've created.
Yep. And has some sense of, like, ownership over them as, like, a person.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, I just... This novel was so prescient, and this movie captures that like toxic fandom aspect so well. Like, and it's a combination of the performances and the direction, really. Like, it's just all of the people involved with this were putting in their best work. Like, it's fantastic. It, the fact that it only got nominated and won one Oscar is insane to me.
Insane.
Like, it should have. I know that
Kind of
this
shocking
is like,
it didn't get an adapted screenplay at least.
right. Like, there's got to be another category this could have competed in 1990. You know, like, and this was one of those years where, wasn't that the year that Silence of the Lambs ended up winning a bunch too? Or
Not
no?
the same year. No.
No. Okay.
Let me look it up. I'm going to look this up while we're...
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those movies where there are certain scenes that stand out to you, right? Like, there's the hobbling scene, there's the wine, there's you know, the ending, the anything with the sheriff and his wife that will stand out and stick out in your mind. But as a whole, the movie just cooks the whole way through. It's a perfect amalgamation of the talents both in front of and behind the camera, and I love it so much.
So this was the Dances with Wolves year.
Oh God. Okay.
Best Picture, I mean, stacked. Dances with Wolves won. Awakenings with Robert De Niro was nominated. Ghost, Goodfellas, Godfather Part 3.
Okay. That is a pretty stacked year, but still,
Same with
this should have been
directing.
in
You
there.
had Scorsese, Coppola, and Costner up there. Jeremy
Look,
Irons won Best Actor, so
I get that, but I'm like, Rob Reiner is on the level of all of those people.
He is.
All of them. Kathy Bates was in it. James Caan is on the level of all of those people. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy to me. It's really crazy.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked it didn't sneak in.
Wrote The Princess Bride too, I think.
What's that?
I think the same writer wrote The Princess Bride too. I think William Goldman wrote both.
I think so.
And didn't he might have gotten a screenplay nom for Princess Bride. But I could be wrong about that.
That I don't know. He did write The Princess Bride.
Okay. William Goldman.
And he's been nominated for Academy Awards. Well, he's won Academy Awards.
Okay.
For Best Original Screenplay, Best Adapted Screenplay. Kind of crazy. He didn't get
Yeah.
anything.
That is nuts. Truly nuts.
Crazy. All right. Well, Sam, what's your final thoughts here for Misery?
You know, this is just a movie that I thought. Ooh, sorry, I lost power for a second.
In your house?
No, like my screen did something weird, and I think it just started a new recording track.
Oh, weird.
What the fuck?
You're still
Anyway,
here.
sorry.
You're still here with me. Is Sam
I'm
still in the building?
Here.
He's still here.
Yeah, no, like, look, Misery is one of those that I was like, I wanted to rewatch it, especially because it was one that left such an impression on me. But also, like, I was kind of nervous because it was like, is this going to hold up to, like, oh my God, this was so terrifying when I first watched it? And frankly, I think it does. Like, obviously, I'm a little more desensitized now. It didn't quite affect me on the same level, but it was also one of those movies that I can watch and say, like, yeah, I totally get why this made me sleep with my lights on for a week when I was 12, because it genuinely is that scary. I can't say the same for a lot of the movies of the era that we actually grew up in, but but yeah, I love Misery, and I'm so glad that we covered it on this podcast. Rest in peace to Rob Reiner. He's a great one, and yeah, 5 out of 5 hobbled ankles. Casey, what about you?
Yeah, I also give this 5 out of 5 Misery the Pigs. It's a classic for many reasons. Fantastic performances, impeccable directing from Rob Reiner. Again, that guy, he could just literally do it all. I can't think of many other Spielberg maybe is the only one that I can think of.
Kind of, but even I feel like even Spielberg doesn't have quite as wide of a filmography as Reiner.
I don't know. That's a yeah. That's a question for another day.
Come at me, bros. Reiner's better than Spielberg. Wait, wait.
I don't see Christopher Nolan or Quentin Tarantino doing what Rob Reiner did.
No.
That'll get the bros
my God,
after us.
no.
That'll get the bros after us. Yeah, he's just one of the best to ever do it. This is as close to a Hitchcockian thriller as I can think of. Like when you think of that term outside of Alfred Hitchcock movies, this is right up there as like the definitive Hitchcockian thriller. Incredible movie. Definitely worth a rewatch if you have not watched Misery in a while, or if you have not watched it ever. Like, go watch it. It's damn near a perfect film.
Yeah,
I give it 5 out of 5. That's as close as you can get. So.
Yep.
All right, that was fun.
Right.
That was a fun little Stephen King all-timer double feature right there.
Goats.
The goats.
All right.
The kings, if you will.
The kings of King. All right. Fangoria, for over 40 years, has been the leading source in horror for all things spooky, horrific, and macabre. The famed magazine is back with a vengeance each quarter with a brand new issue of Fangoria magazine featuring interviews, retrospectives, and insight into the world of horror. We have an exclusive offer for our listeners to save 20% off their subscription to the magazine, the latest Fango merch, and so much more. You can visit shop.fangoria.com/screamsfromthebasement and use promo code screamsfromthebasement at checkout, again, to save 20% off that order. Thanks to Fangoria for helping support the show. Casey.
Yes.
We've been talking for an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
We recorded an interview before we even started this.
Yes.
We have a whole nother episode to record after this.
I feel you.
But I still have to ask you, what have you been doing?
I will keep this going as long as I can. I will keep talking at least 10 minutes for each of these movies. No, I will try to be as quick and concise as I can on these.
Take your time if these movies deserve it.
I have a trilogy of 80s slasher movies that I watched right before I went to we played Jason Takes Manhattan on Friday the 13th here in the month of February. I don't like that movie. It's easily my least favorite of the franchise, but I had a blast watching it with everyone. I'll say that. But right before that, watched the movie Blood Diner. I had not watched this since I watched it on like Svengoolie, I think, like 10 years ago or something like that.
Okay.
So this is like my first time watching it in all of its gory glory. What a fun movie. This would make a perfect late night someday. It's a 1980s cannibal comedy where these two buffoons are trying to like resurrect an Egyptian goddess because their uncle believed in this Egyptian goddess before he got gunned down by the police in front of their eyes. It's a goofy, funny cannibal comedy. Totally a wild ride. Only could have been made in the 80s. Ton of fun. So yeah, if you have not watched Blood Diner, definitely check it out. Perfect late night type movie.
That sounds fantastic. I have never seen it, but I kind of want to.
Nuts. Watch The Greatest Slasher of All Time. Yes, I said the greatest slasher of all time, My Bloody Valentine. We watched this on Valentine's Day. We watched the unrated cut. It's the best. It is so good. I still think they actually killed a guy for one of the effects in this. It's gory.
Which one?
The pickaxe swinging in the door and it like comes up underneath.
Comes up through the guy. Yeah.
That guy's dead. Like, they 100% just killed the guy. I don't know how else they shot that.
That movie's so iconic. I love it. It's
so good.
It's top 3 slashers for me, too. Like, I don't know if I think Black Christmas, for me, edges it out just a little bit, but, like, Jesus Christ, it's so close.
I mean,
Canadians
for me, it's
make
probably
the best
like
slashers.
Black Christmas, Halloween, and My Bloody Valentine. Like,
yeah, that's the thing. Those are the slashers. Like, that's, incredible stuff.
love that movie. That's my favorite of those three. So good. Watched a movie in prep for our seance in Sioux Falls event,
Yeah.
spiritualism in Sioux Falls event that we had
By
like
the
a
way, that
week or
was
so
so
ago
much
now.
fun.
So much fun.
Thanks to everybody who came out to that. That was amazing.
Yeah.
We had a blast.
Thanks to all those 75-year-olds that are definitely listening to this podcast right now for
And
joining
it
our
might
chat.
be now.
They might be. I don't know. This might be the first podcast they're ever listening to. If so, welcome. No, it was a ton of fun. It was part of the historical
History
society's
talks.
like monthly talks. So
Yeah.
thanks to Local Lou for inviting us along to share a little bit of our insight on horror films for that. But the movie I watched in prep for that was from 1944. It's called The Uninvited. And it's about this brother and sister who are like 30s, 40s, both single, that end up buying this house that they just stumble across on the edge of on the edge of this like hillside cliff. They just stumble across it as they're walking their dog, and they're like, "This is a perfect house." They broke in because the dog ran through the door. They literally break into the house. They discover it's abandoned and empty, but they're like, "Oh, we love this house. We have to buy it." They figure out who owns it, and he ends up selling it to them. Even though his granddaughter was the heir to the house and was like, I wanted that house, even though you don't ever let me in it. I wanted that house. But in so the brother and sister befriend the young girl who is the heir to this house, and soon discover that, oh, this house might actually be haunted, and it might be after this girl that was never allowed in there. So this is like The Uninvited's a really weird, kind of quirky haunted house comedy / romance movie. It's kind of got all those hallmarks of those like oldies 1940s 1950s haunted house movies. So yeah, definitely worth a watch. I believe it is on the Criterion channel. It's part of the Criterion collection, so definitely
Okay.
worth a watch. A really fun little gem of a movie.
Yeah, this is the only one, well, of the available ones. There was one other one, but we couldn't find it. This is the only one that I um didn't get to watch before we did our talk. So I'm looking forward to playing catch up with it.
Yeah, I think you'll like it a lot. And then I went to the State Theater. Speaking of the State Theater, and speaking of our old pal Alfred Hitchcock, watched
Yeah.
Alfred Hitchcock's The 39 Steps. Not really a horror movie, but again, it's a Hitchcock thriller.
Yeah.
This is the earliest I've ever gone into Hitchcock's filmography. This is a really, I don't know, interesting movie, because it's like right on the cusp of like silent Hitchcock into talkie Hitchcock. There's definitely like elements of his silent era still in this. Like the basic story of the 39 Steps is this spy ends up going home with our main character, and she ends up getting killed by these other spies. So it's like this big like espionage of like spies killing spies, and this guy becomes like intertwined with it, and basically he takes on her mission for her and goes to try to figure out what are the 39 steps. What is this all about? So yeah, it's a little spy thriller, pre-World War II, but like has elements of like Cold War stuff in it. Yeah.
Yeah, this
Again,
looks
like I said,
cool.
this is the earliest I've gone into Hitchcock's filmography. All the elements that you see in later Hitchcock movies, like Rope, especially, and Rear Window, all present in this movie. So a fun little watch. And one of my favorite things is I've gone to now 3 Hitchcock movies at the State, and I've sat like second or third row, right in the middle, so right up to the screen, and like that is just my favorite way to take these movies in.
Yeah. I know. I gotta make it down to one of these Hitchcock movies with you sometime because
It's so much fun.
every time you go
helps
to one of
cross
these,
off
I'm
all
so
these movies that have been on my list.
extremely jealous of you.
What's that?
Every time you go to one of these, I'm always extremely jealous of you. I'm just like, fuck, come on.
We got to do a and I text you right after. We have to do a Hitchcock episode.
Yeah.
So
I
Hitchcock
had
episode
forgotten
will come.
you were going to that, and I saw that text message pop up, and I'm like, he just watched the. I couldn't remember what it was, but I was
Yeah.
like, he just watched the Hitchcock movie that was playing at the State this weekend. Yeah.
So I've been able to cross off Rope, Strangers on a Train, and the 39 Steps, and there's plenty of
Yeah. and
stuff I have
honestly,
not seen.
The only one of those I've seen is Rope, which I'm so glad you liked Rope because
I
Rope
loved
is
it.
a ton of fun.
Strangers on a Train is so good. That was one of my favorites. to
God,
watch
I
at
gotta
the
see
State.
that one.
So good.
I gotta see that. Yeah.
What else do I have? Last two movies here. I'll be brief on one of these. Finally got around to Smile 2. Wrote a lot on my letterboxd about this. I don't like these movies.
Yeah.
I think
Ew.
the overall concept of the actual like people smiling and coming after you is really hokey and goofy.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's a scene in this movie where the main character Sky
Sky.
Riley, Naomi Scott, she's incredible in this movie. I think she's great
Yeah.
in like everything. But there's a scene where like I think they're all her background dancers or in her apartment. And like every time she turns around they're a little closer and they're all in like goofy poses doing the smile. And I'm like, this is stupid. This is so stupid.
Yeah.
And I don't say that about like any movie like, oh, this is stupid, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's just so dumb. It's very
It doesn't
hokey
work.
and
Yeah.
it doesn't work. I still don't know what these movies are about. Both Smile movies. Like, I know they're about mental health, obviously. But what's
Yeah.
the message behind that? Because
Yeah.
to me, I read, and apologies to anyone who reads these otherwise, I read both of these movies of, oh, just kill yourself.
It's kind of what it feels like at this point. And
Yeah.
it's just it's not a it's just a movie series that wants to be so desperately about something but lacks any of the subtext to actually. It's a little bit like how I feel about Talk to Me.
It's exactly
honestly.
how I feel
like
about that. Yeah.
It's really just it just feels like it's an empty shell of an idea essentially. Like it's like on the surface this is about mental health, but we're not really going to dive deep in this at all, you know? And that bums me out a little
And
bit.
it breaks all its own rules by the end of this one, and it's
Yes.
like,
Oh,
all right.
I think the third act of Smile 2 is atrocious. I think it
I
is
don't
one
think
of
the
the
third
worst.
act of the first one's very good either.
Yeah, it's not, but like it's Citizen Kane compared to the third act of Smile 2. Oh
Which
my
sucks,
God.
because there's two great leading ladies in both of those movies that,
Oh yeah.
I don't know, I just don't think the script especially does them any service. I think Parker
Yeah.
Finn's a great director. Both of these
Oh,
movies
yeah.
look great, and I love the camera work, but
So that was the other thing about Smile too, is like it was very clear that he had a bigger budget and he was doing more like crazy stuff with the camera, but it was like every scene and I just kind of got tired of it
Yeah.
after a while. Like I was like just because you can be doing all this stuff with the camera
make it
doesn't
mean
mean
something.
you should. Like yeah, like I don't know. I kind of hope he calms down for whatever his next movie is in that regard.
Please do something outside the
Like,
Smile movies.
Yeah,
That's what
and
I'm
I
asking
really
at
hope it's
this
not
point,
a Smile
you know?
3, if I'm being honest. Because, yeah, he's got chops. I just don't love either of the Smile movies.
Yeah. Moving on to my last movie here. I will recommend this one, though. Have you ever heard of this movie? It's called House of Darkness from 2022.
So I actually looked it up after I saw your Letterboxd review of this one, and
Okay.
it sounds very interesting.
Yeah. So this is, I assume this was like a COVID project or something, right? Like when they could actually start working. It stars Justin Long, Kate Bosworth. It's a very low budget. We have 4 actors in this entire movie.
Okay.
It's literally Justin Long, Kate Bosworth, and then Kate Bosworth's 2 sisters. Directed by Neil LaBute, who I don't recognize him from a whole lot. I know he did the Wicker Man remake, but like he has a bunch of stuff outside of that. So I don't know how he got connected with Justin Long and Kate Bosworth, but it's about Justin Long going on a date with this mysterious woman, and she invites him back into her spooky mansion. And with any Justin Long movie, you know if he goes into a spooky location, only good things are going to happen to him.
Right.
Only good things are gonna happen to him. I figured out right away like what the movie's story was, like what classic horror tale it was riffing on.
Mhm.
You can figure that out pretty quickly, but I think that's a ton of fun, and
Yeah,
it gives it that like classic horror vibe to this movie. Like I want to see a version of House of Darkness in black and white.
yeah. I think I know what it's playing on just off of like the description of the
Yeah,
movie and the poster that I saw. I was like, oh, okay. I think I get what this is. But all that did was make me more intrigued to see.
yeah, because it is this goofy little mumblecore movie where it's just Justin Long being awkward and getting
And his
seduced by
his
women that
wife.
are too hot for him. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's exactly what you want from this movie. Yeah, it throws Justin Long into like a classic horror literature story. It's great.
Hell yeah.
So I had a ton of fun with this House of Darkness with Justin Long.
Hell yeah.
But that's it. That's all I've been doing. Sam, what about you? What have you been doing since we last chatted?
Well, like you said, we did Jason Takes Manhattan in the theater. I like that one quite a bit more than you do. There's not a bad Friday the 13th movie, but okay, there are bad ones, but none of them are not enjoyable.
What's your least favorite one?
I mean, probably Takes Manhattan, but I still give it 3.5.
All the yelling at me at this screening, only to agree with it's the worst one.
Yeah, but like, we can't hype a movie by saying it's the worst one in the series. Also, I do
I
genuinely
did,
still
granted, I
love
did
it.
say that at the intro. Anyway,
Yeah. So yeah, I like Jason Takes Manhattan, but totally get it. I rewatched a couple of slashers. I rewatched Scream 6 because Maria, after watching it one time, famously has hated that movie, and I could never understand why. And we've just been talking about them, and she was like, "No, let's watch it. Let's rewatch it. I wanna have my mind changed." And it changed her mind, this one, this screening. She was like, "No, you're right. That one is pretty good." Um, she's still of the mindset that the first Scream is the best one, and anything after that has been not necessary. And I don't entirely disagree with that, but I love the series, so
I mean the first is the best, but
I mean, two exists, but okay.
I like two a lot.
So here's the thing. I Scream 6 to me is the end of the franchise. Like I think it's dead to me. I just can't with this new one. I'm not excited for it at all, and I think it looks
I am.
terrible. So
I don't think
Scream
I'm going to
6,
the. I don't think I'm going to go watch it in the theater.
no, I'm not.
I
I'm
know
not.
you're not. I don't know if. I don't think I am going to either. You
I
know,
just oof. I don't know. Happy
I saw
for
news reports come out today of like they spent $500,000 after Melissa Barrera was fired to rewrite the script. They
yeah.
gave Nev Campbell $7 million to come back, and I'm like, why didn't you do that in the first? Like,
Yeah,
she was talking about that in part 6. Like they didn't pay her enough. Like, what are we
yeah.
doing here?
It's stupid. Like, especially because these movies make money, you know? Like, I mean, I know 4 didn't do great, but like 5 and 6 both did great. So, yeah. I don't know. To me, 6 is like it's a good end of the franchise. I kind of wish that we had gotten the third installment that was supposed to revolve around the Carpenter sisters. I don't think we're ever going to get that at this point, but whatever. So yeah, Scream 6, one of my favorites in the franchise. Really love it. Also rewatched Hard Eyes. This is a really good movie to put on when you're like doing something else. And I don't mean that in like a condescending kind of way. Like it is kind of a comfort watch. Like it's the first time I watched it since I saw it in theaters the last year. And like I was kind of taken in by its charm. I really like the two leads in this. I I think that all of the elements of slasher and rom-com are a little too generic for everything to stick. But like I see what it's doing and I kind of like it for what it is. Um I liked it better this time around is what I'll say. I still don't think this is a movie that's gonna go down as like an all-time classic for me, but I didn't hate rewatching it on Valentine's Day. So there's that. Um, Gunfighter Paradise, new movie that is out in select theaters today as this episode drops. It's a horror western, kind of Coen Brothers-esque meets David Lynch. Very surreal, very dark, dry humor. I have a whole review on screamsfromthebasement.com. If it sounds interesting, you should definitely read that review. And if it sounds like something you would like, seek it out in the limited theaters if it's playing near you, or wait until it comes out on VOD, because it is pretty good. I actually liked it quite a bit. So yeah, check out the review on screamsfromthebasement.com. And I saved the best for last. I watched The Changeling for the first time, which weirdly like kind of reminded me of The Shining, and the fact that like it's a 1980s horror, like it's a 1980s horror movie. It came out in 1980.
Yeah, but it feels very 70s.
Feels 70s.
Yeah.
This movie was awesome. Like, I was really digging it. There's a sequence in this movie where a woman is chased down 2 stories of a mansion by a wheelchair, and it's like, it is funny, but it's also still terrifying. Like, yeah, this is a great movie. George C. Scott is incredible in this. There's some great scares, some great atmosphere. Again, it's Canadian. Canadians make the best horror movies. Yeah, not much to say about The Changeling other than it rules. I'm glad I finally watched it, and if you haven't seen it, it's a gem, so go watch it. But yeah,
I'll back that up. Changeling rules.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah,
I was very like, not pleasantly surprised. I was just like pleasantly like, yes, this is a classic that I've heard about, and it actually lives up to that. It was just, yeah, solid, spooky little ghost story, and I loved it. So, but that's all I've been doing.
Well,
watching
that's
a lot
all
of
we've been.
Muppets.
That's all we've been doing here. Yeah, Sam's back. He's not back. He's on the Sabrina Carpenter train, at least in the Muppet verse. So
in the Muppet verse, yeah, she's got great chemistry with Miss Piggy. I'll give her that.
I wrote my. Did you see my Misery review on Letterboxd where I wrote?
Yes.
You can imagine every Muppet character. Quickly, who are our three main characters of Paul Sheldon, Annie Wilkes, and Buster?
Okay, well, obviously Piggy is Annie, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
And
it's
she
Piggy
still
and
has a
Kermit.
pig. Yeah, it's Piggy and Kermit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but the sheriff, now that's trickier, because you could go with Fozzie Bear, because he's kind of got the comedic side shtick going, but I think you go with Gonzo, and you have Camilla the chicken be his wife. Well, I mean, they're canonically together, him and Camilla. So Camilla is the wife/deputy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be, yeah.
But the minute Piggy blew Gonzo away with a shotgun, I'd hate the movie forever.
Yeah.
So.
Would you hate it? Like, you'd feel bad no matter who it was.
Oh yeah, 100%, because it's a fucking Muppet.
So if it was Fozzie, you'd be like, waka waka.
Actually, another thing I watched was I rewatched the Happy Time Murders, the like R-rated murder mystery.
Oh yeah,
Muppet
with
movie.
Christopher Maloney, right? No,
Melissa McCarthy.
isn't
Joel
Christopher
McHale's
Maloney
in
in
it?
that? Or am I thinking of a different? Oh, he was in the show Happy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of, because that one also has puppets, I think, right?
That's right. Yeah. The Law and Order SVU guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're thinking Happy. Happy. That's a good show too. No, yeah, I watched the Happy Time Murders with Melissa McCarthy and a bunch of puppets, and it's low-hanging fruit, but I still love it. Okay. I know we talked for an hour about The Shining. I know we're 2 hours into this podcast episode. One more thing. Totally forgot to mention it. My favorite scene when I brought that VHS over to watch with a group of horny teenage boys was the scene where Jack Nicholson goes into room 237. Because you would not believe the reactions you'd get. Like, the scene would start and everybody would be like, oh,
Yeah.
boobs, like what? Like, you know, because we were all like 12 and that was a thing. And then
Turns into
the
the old
scene would
rotted
happen
lady.
and they'd all just be like, what? Like, it always got the best reactions. It's my favorite scene to show people. Like, I've just pulled it up on YouTube before if people are like, nah, I've never seen that movie, which is an insane thing to say in today's day and age. How have you not seen The Shining? But yeah, that's favorite scene.
Anyways, let's get to our plugs for the show here as we're wrapping things up on this podcast. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for listening. Sam, where can people find us online if they enjoyed our ramblings and ravings today?
Yeah, well, if you want more of this lunatic podcast, you can follow us subscribe to us on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube if you like that video component. Be sure to leave us a 5-star rating and maybe even a nice review. Or if you want to leave a 5-star rating and a not nice review, that's fine. Just rate us 5 stars anyways. Helps us get boosted in the algorithm, helps our podcast reach more lovely people like you. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and TikTok, where we are talking about all of our episodes as well as events, which coming up we have a really cool one this Saturday, tomorrow, February 28th at 10 p.m. at the Coyote Twin Theater. We are playing A.J. Chambers' Orgy of the Dead 2. It is a free screening. The only thing you have to pay for is popcorn, if you want some popcorn, while you watch this zany, gross-out horror comedy. Post-screening Q&A with Casey and I and AJ, and possibly, like, cast and crew members, because I know there are a few who are coming, and it'd be great to have them in on it, too. This is going to be a ton of fun. I'm so excited. Yeah. Please come hang out with us on Saturday night.
Come hang out with us. Buy popcorn. Buy some beer, and let's have a good time.
Yes.
All right, Sam. If people want to support the show, I guess I can throw that out there. That you can join our Patreon. Join us on Patreon.com/Screens from the Basement. That's the best way to help support the podcast. You can check out our exclusive merch, such as our Screams from the Basement 303 inspired shirt on tpublic.com. You cannot find any Elvira merch on there, unlike Sam's shirt. But you can find other cool movie merch up on our TeePublic store. Link in the episode description as well. And then screamsfromthebasement.com. That's our home and hub for all things horror and all things Screams from the Basement. And Sam, we also have another big event coming up in just 2 months. We need to start pushing because we got Screams by Night, halfway to Halloween Con, Part 2. Coming to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, April 26th at the Social. Wait. Yeah. April 25th. Right?
Yes.
4/25/26. Yes, it's April 25th.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, April 25th. Sorry, Saturday, 25th. April 25th.
Saturday, April 25th. At the Social.
We got Brink Stevens there. We have Michelle Bauer there. We have Doug motherfucking Morano there. We have Steve and Kelsey Livingood coming. And we have the South Dakota Ghostbusters and Sioux Falls Krampus. And over 20 other... we're at like 30 vendors now for the show. Yeah. So it's going to be a good time. Come on out. Screamsfromthebasement.com/Screams by Night is where you can find all info and ticket information there. But, Sam, let's wrap this thing up. We're losing our minds here, much like Jack Nicholson in The Shining.
All right, everybody. Reminder that we support trans youth. Fuck ICE. Get them out of our cities. Horror has always been political. And thanks for tuning in. And sweet screams.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.